Hey everyone, I'm Kris.
And I'm Wyatt Elliott from Notebook Entertainment.
And you're watching HORROLAND News. Alright, so, pink isn't normally a color you see on me, but we are going to see the Barbie movie tonight, so I'm very excited about that. So I have Barbified myself. Today we're going to talk a lot about these strikes going on because that's basically what's taking over Hollywood, all the news and stuff, and you can't really talk about anything else without talking about the strikes. I do want to say, for an excellent source of information, go follow Adam Conover. He's been on top of this from the very beginning. You can follow him on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. He's right on top of it. He's got no spin, no bullshit. Here's what's going on takes to let you know 100% this is what's going on. And remember, the writers, the actors just went on strike. The writers have been on strike since May.
Yeah.
So let's give you a general overview of the strikes. Basically, what I'm seeing happen is that the strikes are highlighting just how evil the studios are. From anonymous notes about how they're going to wait out the writers till they lose their homes, to Bob Iger stepping down from his ivory throne to be like, the peasants' demands are not realistic. Like, what? So in response, every single CEO and president and studio head has had their salary revealed to the public, and that's what's unreasonable.
Yeah, that's what's on everyone's mind. It's like, oh, so you can't afford to pay your actors or your writers because you're making too much money.
Right. Also, don't make Ron Perlman mad. That bitch will come burn your house down.
I saw that video like right as he posted it, and I'm like, dude, I was worried for him, right? Because that could be considered a threat.
Yeah, it's been deleted, but obviously...
Has it? No, it's all over the internet
No,
still.
he deleted his tweet or whatever it was, but everybody screen grabbed that shit right away.
I mean, to be fair, I don't blame him. I think he's right about what he said, because he was responding to this dickhead's comment in the Variety or whatever, saying that we'll starve him out. So.
I'd be scared if I knew Ron Perlman was mad at me, so...
Yeah, Hellboy's coming after me. Done.
All right, so what are these demands that the studios think are just so unreasonable? So one of the demands is they demand to be paid on time.
Yeah.
That seems reasonable to me. And instead, the AMPTP or whatever, they outright rejected that in the first rounds of negotiation, saying basically, we can impose fines, but we'll still pay late, so it doesn't matter. So no, rejected.
I have heard this become a problem.
How is that okay? To just be like, no, we're just never going to pay you on time. No. Doesn't matter.
Right. How is it a regular $9 an hour job can get that shit right?
Right.
You know, but a luxurious jobs, quote unquote.
Like, can you go to the Better Business
job?
Bureau for Hollywood? Like, what?
We'll pay you when we feel like it? What kind of...
Right.
Can you imagine if you were in a job interview like, oh, is this 2 weeks weekly? Oh, we pay you when you feel like it. Okay, cool. No.
No, pay me. Pay me for the work I do. God, I can't, that's what I mean by it's like cartoonishly evil.
Yes, it
that
is
these studios are. Like, you couldn't write this because people would be like, that's not believable. Like, nobody's that cartoonishly evil. Well, yeah, they are.
Well.
I mean, so along the cartoonishly evil lines, Universal cut down branches from trees that were offering shade to the protesters.
What did the trees do to you?
The studio claimed that this was just that's the time of year that they do this, and they do this every year. And so as a silver lining, everyone on Twitter got to learn about tree law. Because no, they are not allowed to trim those trees. That is a City of LA thing. And they could be fined heavily for cutting those trees, in addition to the very bad imaging that it gives. Like, why would you... Who do you think is going to be on your side in this?
It's just like, wasn't it also Universal who suddenly decided to start a construction project?
Yep, that's my next point. Yeah. The unions, both unions have filed filed labor grievances against NBC Universal because they just so happen to have their multi-million-dollar upgrades or whatever take place just now, right before the stars went on strike, the actors.
Because I guess, I think Adam Conover was showing it, that it pulled him off the sidewalk.
2 protesters were hit by cars because of it.
I didn't hear that. Oh.
And the studio response was basically like, that sucks, but I guess we'll just do whatever the city tells us to do.
Right. Just don't be on strike then.
Right, basically. Yeah, the way the construction is, it's set up so that their strike route is in traffic. It's ridiculous. Big budget movies, they've had actors just walk off set, so they've come to a grinding halt. Beetlejuice 2, Deadpool 3, Gladiator 2, etc. Like big budget movies. So the studios are losing an estimated $600,000 per week instead of just paying.
Yep.
I think it was like 2% of the profits that both of them together are asking for. It comes out to like 2% of the profits that they're making yearly. So rather than pay out 2% to the people that are making the product that you're selling, they're going to lose $600,000 a week. I mean, that's good business sense, right?
No. Well, I saw Netflix's stock has plummeted after their meeting, and they had nothing new to pitch. They're like, yeah, we don't know what's coming up next year and so everyone bailed. Like, we're getting the fuck out of here. And I think a lot of the studio stocks are plummeting because they're not going to have. They're saying TV and movies are going to run out of product by the end of the year.
By the end of the year, yep.
Yep.
And shareholders are not going to like that, so hopefully some CEOs' heads start rolling.
Exactly. That's why if they don't make a deal, they're the ones who are going to be losing their houses.
There's no reason that writers who are nominated for Emmys can't pay their rent.
Right.
There's no reason. If you're nominated for an Emmy, but you're living out of your car, like, that's ridiculous.
That's not cool. No, that's not cool.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
No.
So the majority of the issues here are broken down into 2 things. That's what the majority of people are talking about. Residuals and AI. So we'll start with residuals and we'll go through what's going on there. So a lot of stars are coming out and saying that they're basically making pennies for their residuals. Orange is the New Black was the first hit for Netflix, and actors are coming out showing that they're making pennies for the one of the most successful shows on Netflix.
Yeah.
Mandy Moore has shown that she's getting pocket change for her residuals for This Is Us, one of the biggest shows. How many Emmy noms?
And that's a network show. Or, I mean, I guess it's not
on
NBC,
now. Isn't it?
Yeah. So, but maybe since it's gone to streaming, she hasn't made as much.
And that's what everyone's point is it's mainly the streaming that they have the most issue with. Gilmore Girls, that started as a CW show, but A Year in the Life, that was all Netflix. All of the CW, the first seasons, are on Netflix. And Sean Gunn has come out and said, yeah, we're not seeing basically anything on any of that.
Yeah, and then I guess...
And Kurt had like 1 million jobs. Yeah, like, that's ridiculous.
And then, like, I guess Netflix was like, well, that's not our fault. That's the responsibility of Warner Brothers and blah, blah, blah.
Yep. And then the media came out and misquoted him or whatever, and saying that they tried to imply that he meant that he wasn't getting residuals at all from any Gilmore Girls. Yeah. And he specifically said streaming in his thing. The media did the same thing to Matt Damon, where Matt Damon had a quote where in the quote, the full quote is it's obvious that he supports the strikes, but they only shared the little bit of the quote that makes it seem like he doesn't support the strikes. And they fucking deleted that tweet almost immediately, so everybody's betting Matt Damon's lawyers instantly were like, no. And they reposted and apologized for misquoting him. But here's why you can't trust the media right now. The media is owned by these studios. CNN, owned by Warner Brothers. MSNBC, owned by Universal. ABC News, owned by Disney. CBS News, owned by Paramount. Anything that they are telling you about the strikes, take with a big old grain of salt. That's why I think it's better if you follow the strikers, the people on the ground doing the work.
Exactly. Find someone that you like and trust, but Adam Conover's a good one. I would imagine Fran Drescher's a good one. Other than that,
her speech was fire.
Yeah, it was. Which makes me feel like she was a little naive going into this.
She has said she expected different. She didn't expect this.
So, which makes me feel like she must have had a pretty cushy experience with executives in the past. And now it's like, Well,
Well, she's talking about, and goes into the next point. She talks about how she was on a 24 episode season show, and their residuals would help them between jobs.
Exactly.
They could live off of their residuals from
yeah.
old network television. So here's the difference. Streaming services, they've gotten us used to 8-10 episode seasons, sometimes less. I mean, the new Black Mirror was only 5 episodes. So what that enables them to do is take the writers and make them more like freelance writers instead of actual writers that they have to pay like writers.
They're like gig workers,
Exactly.
basically. You're constantly looking for your next paycheck.
Exactly. Writers' rooms do not exist anymore.
Which that came as a shock to me. I had no idea.
Which is ridiculous.
I had no idea.
They maybe will take one showrunner to run through all the episodes, but each episode will have different writers. And that's why most working actors, because people are focusing on, like Tom Cruise needs to another, $1 million. It's not for him.
No.
It's not for him. It's for the majority of writers and actors cannot make it in their industry. They do not get paid enough. They are not, it's barely paycheck to paycheck for them. Most of them do not make enough in a year to qualify for the health insurance that their union offers. It's ridiculous. Basically, what has happened is streaming has allowed them to dilute payments and the way they pay. And so the studios get to claim losses. And that's another reason with the residuals and everything, they want transparency from the streaming services. They want to know what are the audience scores, what are the audience views, what is happening. Because right now they can say, that show's not making any money, that show's not getting views, we're pulling it and to save money. But what they're saving money in is not having to pay residuals to the actors and writers.
And see, I don't know why they can't do something like YouTube where they give everybody access to analytics of all of them streaming movies on
because
there.
Because then they can't pull this shady-ass shit. That's why.
And I've heard rumors that YouTube pulls shady-ass shit, too, in the background of it. And I'm not surprised if they do. However, at least you can see something of how this video is doing, And that Netflix, I doubt it would be hard to implement that. Because they have
They have it. They have the metrics.
Yeah.
That's how they can decide that a show's not profitable. Maybe stop spending $300 million on everything.
And also, I feel like this wasn't a problem when the strike started, but lately it's become a problem with them deleting content and stuff. And I don't know if that's addressed in there or not, but it should be, because now, again, you're taking away all the residuals. So they can pay you once, put it out, it didn't work very well. Pull it. Gone forever. You don't get anything.
Yep.
I mean, even pennies is better than nothing.
And not putting it on physical media also means they don't have to pay.
Yeah, which is really bullshit because the fans want physical media. They will pay for it. Therefore, you get money, they get money.
But they don't want to share the money. Like I said, it all comes up to about both the writers and SAG, I think together, it was 2 or 3% of the total profits made. And they just don't, they won't.
Yeah. Hollywood is...
One less super yacht, guys. That's all it is. One less super yacht a year.
Hollywood has always been known to have their tricky accounting, and they can say a movie, didn't make a profit. So a lot of people have had to sue studios because in the past, before streaming, because they've had a back end deal, and they've been like, it didn't show any profit, it didn't make any profits, and they'll pull out bullshit statistics saying it didn't.
That's the whole thing. That's part of the thing. Remember when Scarlett Johansson was so mad that that she had a deal with the movie as it did in theaters, and they were like, we're gonna put it on Disney Plus and streaming instead. So she wouldn't have made any money.
No. And to be fair, she's still, I know she's settled and she got some money and good for her, but she doesn't really know if it was a normal situation where the movie would have come out not during the pandemic and stuff, how much money that movie could have made and therefore how much she could have got.
Even with it coming out during the pandemic, didn't it make more than The Flash?
Everything made more than The Flash.
Oh
my God. I just watched on Twitter that damn baby scene again. And I'm just why?
All right, so that's basically majority of it with residuals broken down, easy to understand. So let's move on to the AI issues. So with the writers, it was revealed, hold on. No, I'm sorry. So with the actors, it's been revealed that the studios had or have plans to take extras, pay them a day's worth of work, scan their entire body, and then reuse their image in any way they see fit without the actor's permission and without ever having to pay that actor again. That's such bullshit. Like, extras, that's how they get their SAG cards, that's how they get credit, that's how they get
We know
health
personally
insurance.
a lot of people who go to Chicago and work on the Chicago Hope shows and everything or whatever
That are
they're
SAG,
called.
yeah, that are
Yep. They
basic-
get extra work and they get one lines here and there, and it's like a career for them. They go there daily.
Yep.
And do this.
Yep.
If they scan you and then they can just put, like, holy crap! I understand that extras can be expensive. However, you can't just CGI a human and just. If you're going to CGI them, you got to pay them for each time you use them. Like, I had an idea, like, okay, if this is going to be something you're going to do, then actors should have the choice to go to another company, have your image scanned, and then that gets sold, leased out to whoever wants to use it, and then you're making money every time that image gets used. And I think that would be okay.
Right.
That's
Because
fair.
let's face it, we have to embrace the AI. It's not going away, unfortunately.
Right.
So, but if we can find a way to make it work,
Yep.
then okay. But they just want to pay them once and be done
Yeah.
with it, and that's not fair. Plus, the actor should get a say in what their body is doing. Remember,
Yeah.
Joan is awful, guys, and Selma Hayek's character was not happy with what Joan made her look like she was doing.
No.
So if say an actor is very religious, they wouldn't want to be in a Satanist movie.
I mean, technically,
You know?
they could take extras and, look at Eyes
Make
Wide
'em-
Shut, have a bunch of orgy scenes in the back. Those people were just extras. And have extras
Make 'em
doing
nude.
that. Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
And you
You
didn't
know?
agree to be naked on camera?
Slaughter a bunch of people, have heads rolling everywhere. I mean,
That's whatever. Like,
Well-
I'm talking about, like, violations.
Well,
Like,
to some
making
people,
you
then, man, I
naked,
wanna do
making
that.
you have sex, making
Yeah.
you do whatever. What if you're very, not into gay people and they make your character now have gay sex?
Right.
Like, you wouldn't
Or
want
vice
that.
versa.
Or vice versa. What if you're very gay and you now have to have straight sex? Like,
there's
you
a lot of things you could be doing that you didn't
that
sign
you
up
didn't
for,
sign up
let's put
for.
that
So
way.
that's not fair to the actors at all.
No.
Now, on the writer's side, writers are concerned with AI like Chat GPT being used either on their scripts or taking over writing scripts altogether. And they've already seen that happen where writers have submitted scripts and stuff to Hollywood, and then it gets a passover from an AI. And then suddenly the writer's like, wait a minute, this scene now is missing something because AI doesn't have the experiences humans have. AI hasn't had its heart broken. AI hasn't had an embarrassing moment. AI, they don't have these things to draw from. They haven't lost anybody. They haven't experienced, grief.
Yep.
They have nothing to draw from.
That's why
You need the creative.
That's why the first thing they teach you in any kind of writing class is write what you know. Therefore, you can pull from your own experiences before you can make up experiences. AI is basically an algorithm that can search the entire internet and the entire history of things and kind of best guess what should come next.
As they pointed out, AI would actually be better used to take over the CEO jobs.
Oh, for sure.
Because that's what it is. It's analytics. It's deciding what is popular, what's trending, what's to okay.
And to be
that's where get rid of the CEOs and just put AI in their job.
And talk about cheaper, and to be fair, I for one am not even saying that they should get rid of a human job at all to be replaced.
I am. Get rid of CEOs.
Because anytime you have that, you pull the human experience out, and therefore the human logic is gone. There's always going to be gray areas.
Which James Cameron gave an interview to CTV News talking about his fears of AI, which is a lot of the same of the rest of us.
Yeah.
So here's his full quote. He said, "I think that we will get into the equivalent of a nuclear arms race with AI, and if we don't build it, the other guys are going to for sure build it, and so then it'll escalate. You could imagine an AI in combat theater, the whole thing just being fought by computers out of speed that humans can no longer intercede. You have no ability to de-escalate, and when you're dealing with the potential of it escalating to nuclear warfare, de-escalation is the name of the game, and having that pause, that time out. But will they do that? The AIs will not. You've got to follow the money. So who's building these things, right? So what are you teaching it? Greed, or you're building it for defensive purposes? So you're teaching it paranoia. He half joked that he, quote, warned us in 1984 and we didn't listen.
Yeah, he did. No, everybody brings up Skynet. Like, in fact, his new treatment for Terminator is based upon AI and how it's going to go.
And isn't the new
stuff.
Mission Impossible about AI
it
and
sure
shit?
is, which... Here's the thing. It seems to me like high-ups in Hollywood have been known this is coming for a long time. I saw a story saying that on the set of Zorro, Steven Spielberg was talking to Antonio Banderas, and Antonio Banderas has come out and said that he told him, he said, yeah, this might be one of the last Westerns we have where we actually use real horses and real backgrounds and blah. And that was 1997. So obviously things haven't progressed like they thought they were going to, but with AI, with these, Disney has that virtual room they can film it and everything now, and all the green screen and stuff. Plus, Robert Zemeckis has been trying for about a decade now to pull off CGI humans, but they all just keep
Uncanny Valley,
out.
man.
Yeah. So they're not there yet, but they think that they're going to get there, and they think this is the next step. I saw a clip from some talk show, I don't know what it was from, some morning talk show, where some person was on there explaining, they're all excited about it and everything, that someday, you Breaking Bad ended, you want it to keep on going, you can have your very own Bryan Cranston that you download and make him work for the rest of his day forever.
Which I can't see
the
Bryan
show
Cranston
going.
agreeing to that.
No, nobody was going to agree to that. That's ridiculous. Plus, that's insane. Now you're going to have, you have your own personal Breaking Bad, and this person has their own personal Breaking Bad, and that person, that's insane. That, as a writer,
just go play Sims, guys.
Yeah, like there's a place for virtual reality. There's a place for probably even AI if they can keep it under wraps. It needs to be legislated. It needs to be. You can't.
There has to be
make
rules.
Technology that hurts people. Technology is supposed to help us.
Yep, and that's why you see the memes where it's like, why are we teaching the AI to do all the jobs we want to do, like be creative, instead of teaching it all the shitty jobs that we get paid minimum wage for?
Exactly.
Like, that's not the future I signed up for.
No, it's not.
All right.
But AI is cheaper than robots, so...
Yeah, I mean... All right, so to wrap this up, the strikes, neither union is calling for a boycott at the moment. So go see Barbie, go see Oppenheimer, go see anything that's coming out because they've already finished filming. They say basically the reason they want you to do this is because if Barbie does bad, if Oppenheimer does bad, then the studios can turn around and say, see, we're not making any money.
And we can't have
And we can't, yeah. So we got to show them, like, yeah, the studios are making money, they just don't want to pay. They just don't want to pay. That's what it comes down to.
Which we all know is the truth.
Also, do not cancel your streaming services yet. I've seen several strike captains say that they want to save that as a solidarity move if necessary. So if the studios prolong this way too far, they want to be able to pull out of their back pocket, okay, everyone, cancel your streaming services all at once to make a statement. So if you've already canceled them, fine. If you're thinking about it, don't do it yet. Save it for a solidarity moment if we need it. Of course, neither union wants it to get that far.
Fair.
Some A-list stars have asked for waivers so that they can continue to promote their movie, with Tom Cruise reportedly being one of them, because, of course. Bob Odenkirk has come out responding to that saying, quote, don't. It's a strike. Strike. You lose, we lose, everybody loses. That's tough shit.
Yeah, I don't think, and I'm sure he wants to finish the next Mission Impossible, and that's, of course, I want him to do that.
No, he wants, it's waivers so that they can go promote their movies now.
Oh, no, fuck that.
Exactly.
No, fuck that.
So SAG-AFTRA has approved 39 different indie films to go ahead with production. Basically, if the studio isn't part of the AMPTP, which, if you don't know, stands for the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers,
I'm starting to wonder
then you're
if
good to
that's what
go.
should be dissolved.
Right. So actually, this does include 2 different movies from A24, because A24 is not part of the AMPTP. So these include Mother Mary, starring Anne Hathaway and Michaela Cole, and Death of a Unicorn, starring Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega, which I'm very excited about, just from the title and the people in it. I don't even know what it's about, but I want to see it.
Apparently they hit a unicorn with their car.
I don't even care.
That's all I know about it.
I will see it. I will see it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead. If an indie film comes out, check and see which studios are part of the AMPTP, and don't go to those.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I suppose.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
It's tough.
It's tough. So that's basically the breakdown of the strikes from what we've seen and what we've been able to gather. Again, please follow the people on the ground. Adam Conover's a great one, but there are many, many others. Make sure you follow Fran Drescher because she is the president of SAG, and she will constantly be putting up updates on what's going on. Right now, they're saying that the studios just won't even come to the table. So... because they're calling their demands, unreasonable. So let's move on.
So long that lasts.
Right, let's move on and do some normal Horrorland news stuff. Let's go to Trailer Park.
In a world.
All right, so this first one is a Tubi original film. Which I want to highlight because Tubi has some great horror on it.
Oh, yeah.
Especially indie horror. So this one's called Cabin Girl. It's directed by John D. Wagner with a screenplay by Leslie Beaumont and James Wood. Not James Woods.
I was like, wait a
James
minute.
Wood.
Okay.
Starring Rose Lane Sanfilippo, Austin Scott, Lee Tergerson, and Michael Rispoli. I don't know any of those people, but that's fine.
No, it's an indie film.
Right. So here's what it's about. 24-year-old Ava Robbins moves into an isolated cabin, but it seems like a dream come true soon turns into a living nightmare when her interest in the supernatural triggers a series of weird events.
I'd like to watch the trailer. I thought it looked kind of interesting.
Yeah, I want to see it.
And again, like you said, when you hear Tubi original, you really expected like lowbrow movies. But
which I love. I don't care how bad it is. I love it.
Yeah, no, there's some great bad movies.
So this is right now streaming on Tubi. So go watch it.
Yeah.
Because we might watch it and do a review if we like it enough.
Yeah. We might get back into picking out random Tubi videos.
Yeah, just random Tubi videos.
We were doing that for a while.
Check it out.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to Dear David. This is by Lionsgate and BuzzFeed. So I don't know how many of you remember back in 2017, BuzzFeed comic artist Adam Ellis, he wrote a series of tweets about how he was scared that his apartment was haunted by this like little boy named David. I remember reading them and being like, I'm so enthralled right now. And I think he even wrote a BuzzFeed article about his experience or whatever. So they've decided to take that and elevate it and make it into a movie. So
Fair.
Based or inspired by true events. Not even based on, inspired by true events.
Very, very different.
It's directed by John McPhail, who did Anna and the Apocalypse. And screenplay by Mike Van Weyes. It's starring Augustus Prue as Adam, Andrea Bang, Renee Escobar Jr., Cameron Nickel, and surprisingly, Justin Long, who I did not see anywhere in the trailer.
I see he probably dies.
Right, that dies right away. But I'm glad I like Justin Long.
That's great. Yeah, all right.
Okay.
I already wanted to see this, and now like I don't know. There's something about a Justin Long horror movie that's just fantastic.
I know.
I don't know.
So here's what this one's about. Shortly after comic artist Adam responds to internet trolls, he begins experiencing sleep paralysis, while an empty rocking chair moves in a corner of his apartment. As he chronicles increasingly evil occurrences in a series of tweets, Adam begins to believe he is being haunted by the ghost of a dead child named David. Encouraged by his boss to continue the Dear David thread, Adam starts to lose his grip on what is online and what is real. So this will be in theaters and on digital on demand October 13th.
Nice. Yeah, I do want to see that one.
Yep.
I think that one looks very, very cool. Despite its history and background or whatever, I just thought that the trailer looked interesting.
Exactly. And like I said, I remember reading that tweet thread in 2017. So
I believe it.
All right, so let's move on to news. All right, so first up, Saw 10 just released some information today. Saw X, Saw 10, whatever you want to say.
I'm calling it Saw in space.
Saw X. No, this one definitely isn't in space. It might have been better if it were, but we'll get into that. So Lionsgate has announced a new release date. It's been moved up to September 29th. Nope, don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that either. Like I know they're trying to pitch it as we're excited, And I remember reading there's something else releasing on the date they originally wanted.
Freddy.
That's
Five Nights
what
at Freddy.
was. So that's
so
why
if
they
Five
moved
Nights
it.
at Freddy ruined the tradition of if it's Halloween, it must be Saw, then
Well,
fuck Five Nights at Freddy's.
I mean, technically, Spiral ruined that, but...
Spiral ruined a lot of shit, and it doesn't exist.
Right. But as far as... I don't remember when Jigsaw came out, but as far as Saw movies, yeah, it was always... If
it's Halloween, it must be Saw.
I was excited for those promos again. So September 29th, so I guess now it's my birthday movie. Yep. So, whatever.
If it's September, it must be Saw.
No, if it's September,
Stupid.
it must be.
It's so stupid.
Usually September, there's like no movies coming out.
Alright, so this movie takes place between Saw 1 and Saw 2. Nope, don't like that. So I don't mind the series jumping around because every single one does.
Right.
Every single one does. The timeline is crazy. However, each one furthers the plot of this soap opera. This one is talking about, it takes place between the first one and the second one, where John Kramer goes down to Mexico to try some experimental treatment for his cancer.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
So does that mean...
So is he just killing Mexicans? Like,
right.
What are we doing here?
So, like, while he's in Mexico, he's like, oh, I might as well set up some traps.
Right, might as well set up some while I'm here. Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing that does not fit anything of John Kramer's profile at all? He doesn't just, he's not a random killer. He's got a reason for why he picks the people he does. Sometimes it's stupid, like, oh, this guy didn't quit smoking. Wow. It's stupid. But he's got a reason. Like,
Isn't what's her name supposed to return too? His sidekick?
Shawnee Smith. Well, she's not, she died in 3, so she's not dead yet.
That's what I'm
Maybe
saying.
she goes down to Mexico with them.
I read that she's in it too, so... I don't know. I think it's too far back, personally, because one...
They are going to have to de-age him
the
so
fuck out
much.
of him. 2, like, that's why... he died in, 3, 4?
He died in 3.
So, like, they could have had it take place between 3 and 4 or something.
I said, I don't mind him being back for, like, flashbacks or
like
whatever.
Like Jigsaw did.
Exactly. What I wanted was... They should have continued on with Gordon.
Yeah.
With Dr. Gordon, or with the doctor from Jigsaw. Either one of those.
Right.
Because, Amanda's also dead. But Gordon was alive, and the guy at the end of Jigsaw was alive. Mm-hmm. So, why do we not continue them and do flashbacks to John Kramer instead of going all the way back to between 1 and 2?
I don't like the between.
Like, it's giving Lion King 1.5. So, yeah, I'm still very excited because it is in good hands. So, let's put it that way. Kevin Greutert is directing. Now, he has been with the series from the beginning. He was an editor for numbers 1 through 5. He directed himself Saw 6 and Saw the final chapter, and he went back to editing for Jigsaw. I don't think he had anything to do with Spiral. Or if he did, he's not claiming he did.
I want to say the director of 2 and 3 did Spiral, is what I remember. I know it was an old director, but I think it was like a previous director. It was like 2 and 3 or something. I don't know either, but...
I just think that I feel like this movie doesn't need to exist. They should have, again, continued the story on with the 2 people that are still alive.
Yeah, and unless they're only telling us a part of the story.
Right, maybe it is. Maybe that's the flashback. I don't know. Yeah. That's the thing with Saw, is you never know until you're actually sitting there watching it.
But I have a feeling that they probably were like, okay, where's a time frame in his life that we could do a whole movie on?
Right.
Oh, we'll say he went to Mexico.
Right. Spring break. All right. So, our final story today, Jordan Peele has edited a new book showcasing Black horror writers. It is called Out There Screaming, an anthology of new Black horror. The tales explore not only terrors of supernatural, but the chilling reality of injustice that haunts our nation. Wow. Scary. Right. Yeah. Our nation's scary right now, guys. Stuff. So, Penguin Random House Previews says, quote, a cop begins seeing huge blinking eyes where the headlights of cars should be that tell him who to pull over. 2 freedom riders take a bus ride that leaves them stranded on a lonely road in Alabama, where several unsettling somethings await them. A young girl dives into the depths of the earth in search of the demon that killed her parents. These are just a few of the worlds of Out There Screaming, Jordan Peele's anthology of all new horror stories by Black writers. Ooh. Right. Dude, I didn't even need supernatural. As soon as you say they got caught in the backwoods of Alabama or whatever, I'm like, oh, scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
Some.
Sundown Towns exist, guys, as Jason Aldean sings in his new song.
Oh God! Don't even get me started.
Won't even go there.
No.
But had to bring it up. Just a little jab in there. So the book will be out October 3rd. You can pre-order it now.
And when is the movie coming out?
I don't know.
Come
watch
on,
Horror
Peele.
Noir. If you wanna, yeah. Horror Noir was great, by the way,
Yeah.
guys. If you have Shudder, I think it's still on there.
Shudder. I don't think
they
they're
get rid of
deleting
stuff.
So.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so we just want to end this by saying that we will put in the description ways that you can help donate to the actors and writers on strike so that they can continue their strike for better treatment, fairer pay, and all of that.
Yep. So. I can't wait for this to be over. Like, I know they're actually predicting it to go on for 6 months or whatever. I really hope it doesn't come to that because, like, what irks me as just a creative is just all the delays that this
And
is
the
causing.
stuff we're losing.
Unnecessary
If
delays.
this fucks up Severance Season 2 and we wind up not getting Severance Season 2 for some reason, I'm going to be fucking... I'm going to go punch some CEOs myself.
I don't know the names, but they did cancel a bunch of projects that were just greenlit as it happened. They just stopped them and fuck it, it's gone. So there were some casualties.
I know there
already.
were, and I'm really scared that it's going to be some of my favorite shows.
Oh yeah, we're all scared that it's gonna. I mean, yes, it's either way. But this has to happen, guys. We're living history.
People need to be paid fairly.
Yep.
And AI needs to be legislated or figured out or contracted or whatever. Like, it needs to be in contracts.
Agreed, because what is it? Now they're hitting Hollywood.
Yep.
What next is going to be the YouTubers and stuff, independent,
And not only that, we've got UPS on the verge. We've got the Teamsters on the verge of a strike. People are tired in every industry
of not getting compensated properly.
Exactly.
The whole tier system is not working because it's all piled on top.
We're tired of you telling us about trickle-down economics when really you're just pissing on our heads. Like, it's ridiculous.
On that note, I mean, I don't know that you can end the show better than that. Like and subscribe.
Right, ring the bell.
Ring the bell. I'm gonna go shut up.
We're gonna start probably doing reviews for more independent films. Maybe we'll get our video game guy in here to talk about horror video games, but we will still try to make some content for this channel.
Yeah, and we have our friend Nate's gonna submit some old movie reviews too. Update new opinions on old movies.
Exactly.
Maybe that's the title. All right, guys. I think I've taken up enough of your time now. I'm gonna go shut up and read more on the strike.
All right, and I'm gonna go talk over here about the strike.
And then we're gonna go see Barbie.
Barbie!
See you later.
So we'll march day and night by the big cooling tower. They have the plans, but we have the power. So we'll march day and night by the big cooling tower.